2 notes, a soft knock followed by a resonant ring out. Before a single pixel of light hits your eyes, you already know exactly what you are watching. That instant recognition comes down to basic human wiring. This diagram maps sensory inputs to the brain. Our neural pathways process auditory stimuli at a blistering 8 to 10 milliseconds. Visual processing takes 20 to 40 milliseconds. A sound triggers a reaction before we can even physically see it. Because it enters the brain so quickly, a specific sequence of notes gets encoded directly into procedural memory. That is the exact same durable neurological system that lets you hop on a bicycle after a decade and ride perfectly on the first try. Yet, despite being our fastest and most permanent sensory pathway, companies treat audio as an afterthought. It's typically a quick sound effect slapped onto a finished commercial right before it airs. Designing a brand identity entirely for the eyes means actively ignoring the most direct route to your audience's emotional memory. Creating an unforgettable piece of audio requires strict mathematical engineering. Sound designers rely on a specific formula, giving the ear a familiar shape, then intentionally interrupting it with an unexpected sequence. This chart visualizes those exact intervallic jumps. By spacing notes apart by a perfect fifth or a major third, designers build a melodic contour that forces the brain to pay attention and retain the pattern. You can trace this precise structural architecture back to Walter Werzowa, who mapped out the iconic 5-note sequence for Intel, permanently embedding the company into the minds of anyone who owned a PC in the 90s. A sequence that embeds itself into the culture doesn't happen by chance. It is a calculated act of acoustic engineering designed to force its way into long-term memory. MasterCard realized they needed to move past a single, static jingle. They mapped out a flexible sonic DNA, a core melody that could be revoiced across different genres and cultures, acting as the audio equivalent of their overlapping red and yellow circles. Compared to visual-only branding baselines, MasterCard measured a 36% lift in recognition and a 76% increase in brand power. But at the point of sale, when this sequence plays, 77% of consumers find the brand more trustworthy. You cannot generate that level of financial equity by retrofitting a sound onto an existing campaign. The architecture has to be built at the concept phase. The value lies entirely in the discipline. It takes an unbroken decade of obsessive, relentless repetition across the mobile app, the television ads, and the checkout line for those notes to accrue value. Plan the audio architecture from day one, and you build an uncopyable asset. Bolt it on late, and it is merely decoration. We are moving rapidly away from visual dominance. As smart speakers manage our homes and phones slide into pockets, the interface becomes entirely ambient. A modern brand has to be able to survive and be recognized, even when the consumer's eyes are looking completely in the other direction. It's the exact same principle as tactile engineering. You know the heavy, engineered thunk of a luxury car door closing? It communicates quality without you needing to look at it. As screens disappear, a carefully designed audio identity stops being a clever marketing accessory. It becomes a load-bearing structural requirement to keep the business visible. The companies that thrive over the next decade will be the ones dedicating serious resources to the senses we historically consider last. True design intelligence is building an asset so precise your audience feels your presence before they can even name it.